Sometimes life puts you in rooms where people don't see your worth, don't respect your energy, and don't honor your presence. But the real secret isn't trying to convince them. The real secret is learning how to rise above them, reclaim your power, and build a life where your value is non-negotiable. Today, let's talk about the mindset that transforms disrespect into fuel and turns rejection into strength. When you finally understand that your worth is something you decide, not something others assign, you take back every ounce of power you once gave away. Too many people walk through life letting others define who they are, what they deserve, and how far they can go. But the truth is simple. The people who don't value you are not qualified to judge your potential. They don't see the invisible battles you've overcome, the courage it took to rise after every setback, or the fire burning inside you that refuses to die. They only see you through the limitations of their own minds. And when you allow their narrow vision to shape your identity, you limit a future that was never meant to be small. Knowing your worth begins with understanding that you are not here to convince anyone of your value. You are here to express it. You express it through your confidence, your discipline, your boundaries, and your energy. You express it through your willingness to walk away from situations that no longer grow you. People who don't value you expect you to shrink. They expect you to doubt yourself. They expect you to settle for their version of who you should be, but you are not here to fit into the expectations of those who can't even rise to their own. Your life is too important to be shaped by opinions that are rooted in insecurity, jealousy, or emotional immaturity. Your worth is rooted in your identity, and identity comes from clarity. When you know who you are, what you stand for, what you will accept, and what you will not tolerate, you become unshakable. You stop chasing validation because you become the source of your own validation. And when people sense that level of inner strength, everything changes. You no longer attract those who undervalue you, you repel them. They realize they cannot control you, manipulate you, or drain you, because you have built a foundation made of certainty, self-respect, and purpose. You must understand that everyone sees you through the lens of their own story. Some see your kindness as weakness because they fear being vulnerable themselves. Some see your ambition as arrogance because they gave up on their dreams a long time ago. Some see your confidence as a threat because they haven't built their own. And some simply don't know how to value anything because they've never valued themselves. So why would you let people like that define you? Why would you let their lack of self-worth shape your sense of identity? When someone doesn't value you, don't take it personally. Take it as information. It is a sign that this person is not aligned with your future. It is a sign that your path is meant to move in a different direction. It is a sign that your energy is needed elsewhere, where it will be appreciated, respected, and recognized. You don't argue with people who can't see your value. You don't beg for respect. You don't fight for a place in someone's life. You simply rise above it and keep moving forward. Knowing your worth is not about ego, it is about truth. It is about honoring the person you are becoming. It is about building a life where you are surrounded by people who elevate you, not diminish you. It is about understanding that you are deserving, not because someone said so, but because you exist with purpose, strength, and potential. When you finally embrace your worth, you stop surviving and start living. You stop settling and start choosing. You stop doubting and start believing. And the moment you believe in your worth, the world has no choice but to respond to the power you carry. The moment you stop chasing people who don't value you, your entire life begins to shift. Too many people exhaust their energy trying to win over individuals who were never meant to understand their worth. They bend, they compromise, they overextend, and they sacrifice pieces of themselves just to hold on to relationships that drain them. But chasing people is the fastest way to lose yourself. It teaches others that your value depends on their acceptance, and that is the most dangerous lie you can ever believe. The truth is far more empowering. When someone doesn't value you, it's a sign, not a sentence. It's a signal to redirect your energy toward places and people that actually see your light. Replacing doesn't mean being cold or heartless. It means protecting your peace and honoring your standards. There are individuals who will take your kindness for granted simply because it is free. There are people who will become comfortable with your effort because they never have to match it. When you continue giving access to people who don't appreciate you, you train them to believe that your presence requires no effort, no respect, and no reciprocity. That cycle ends the moment you decide that your energy is too valuable to be wasted. You don't chase validation, you choose alignment. When you stop chasing, you shift from desperation to confidence. You begin to see that the people who don't value you were never your community. They were your lesson. They were placed in your life to show you the difference between what drains you and what develops you. Sometimes the universe removes people because they would have held you back from your potential. Sometimes it exposes their lack of appreciation because you've outgrown the chapter they belong to. And sometimes it pushes you to replace them, not because they are bad people, but because they are not the people who will walk with you into your future. Replacing people is about elevation. You create space for relationships built on mutual respect, mutual effort, and mutual growth. You create room for people who match your energy instead of consuming it. Every time you release someone who undervalues you, you raise your vibration, and when your vibration rises, your standards rise. When your standards rise, your relationships change. And when your relationships change, your life transforms. You must understand that not everyone deserves a seat at your table. A seat must be earned through respect, loyalty, truth, and consistency. If someone shows you repeatedly that they don't value you, believe them the first time. Don't rewrite their actions into a story that makes you feel comfortable. Don't give them chance after chance hoping they'll eventually see your worth. Some people only understand your value when you take it away. And when you do, they realize too late that access to you is a privilege, not a guarantee. Walking away is not weakness, it is clarity. It is choosing to protect your purpose rather than entertain people who drain it. It is choosing your peace over someone else's chaos. It is choosing your growth over someone else's comfort. And most importantly, it is choosing to stand in your power instead of shrinking to fit someone else's limitations. When you replace people who don't value you, you declare to the world and to yourself that you are no longer available for relationships that make you question your worth. You are only available for connections that help you grow, rise, and become the person you were meant to be. And that decision will change your entire life. Moving forward with unshakable confidence means stepping into a version of yourself that no longer depends on the approval, validation, or recognition of anyone else. It is choosing to rise even when people underestimate you. It is walking forward even when others try to hold you back. Confidence is not built in comfort. It is forged in the moments you decide that your future is more important than the opinions of those who failed to value you. When someone dismisses you, doubts you, or disrespects you, you have two options: shrink or rise. And the moment you choose to rise, you tap into a power within you that cannot be taken away. Real confidence doesn't come from proving anything to anyone. It comes from proving to yourself that you can overcome, that you can rebuild, that you can grow beyond past limitations. It comes from keeping promises to yourself, waking up early, showing up consistently, setting boundaries, and refusing to settle for less than you deserve. Each action becomes a vote for the person you're becoming. Over time, those small decisions compound into a mindset that cannot be shaken by rejection, judgment, or disrespect. Confidence is a habit, and every time you choose yourself, that habit becomes stronger. Moving forward with confidence also means letting go of what was. You can't walk boldly into your future while holding on to people who don't value you. They become weights on your spirit, anchors to your potential, and distractions from your calling. Confidence shows up when you release them without bitterness, without revenge, without needing closure. You don't chase them down for explanations. You don't wait for them to realize your worth. You simply move ahead, knowing that your path is bigger than their perception. Your energy is too precious to be wasted on old stories and stagnant connections. And as you move forward, something powerful happens. You begin to align with opportunities and people who reflect your true value. When you elevate your self-respect, your environment elevates with it. You attract relationships built on honesty, loyalty, and mutual appreciation. You find yourself surrounded by people who see your potential, not your flaws. People who encourage your growth instead of limiting it. People who celebrate your strength instead of being intimidated by it. This is the natural result of stepping into your confidence. You stop surviving and start thriving. Unshakable confidence doesn't mean you never feel fear. It means you act despite it. It means you trust yourself even when the path isn't clear. It means you believe in your abilities even when no one else claps for you. The world has conditioned many to depend on validation, but true confidence is internal. It is built from self-awareness, discipline, and resilience. It is understanding that setbacks are not failures, they are training. They are refining you for the next chapter. When you move forward with unshakable confidence, you become unstoppable. You stop waiting for the right moment and start creating your own momentum. You stop giving power to those who didn't see your worth and reclaim ownership of your life. Every step you take in confidence sends a message to the world. I know who I am. I know what I deserve, and I refuse to settle for anything less. This is how you rise above those who didn't value you. Not by fighting them, not by explaining yourself, but by becoming someone so aligned, so focused, so powerful that their opinions become irrelevant. You elevate beyond their reach. You evolve beyond their expectations. And you step into a life where your worth is not questioned, because you've made it undeniable.